Welcome back. We're here with Mr. Keith Henley, and he's going to talk about Alpha Design, and been talking about it. And Transformation Theaters Productions is proud to say that we have one of Mr. Henley's creation. We have an elephant that is somewhere in the house. It's upstairs.
Oh, don't worry about it. I have a picture of it. It's probably showing up right behind us. He don't even know it. Yeah. The wonderful thing about technology. Thanks, Billy.
All right.
It's good when you know the editor.
Yeah. See, God puts people in your life
go. See?
For a reason.
Brilliant minds. See, there you go with the brilliant minds. There you go. There you go.
Gifts in the kingdom.
Yeah, gifts in the kingdom.
And in case you missed it, Mr. Henley has talked about some of the places that have featured his creativity. And you just want to give them a recap real quick?
So very quickly, I have the Betsy Ross doll, which is being sold at the Betsy Ross house in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And then there's also the Benjamin Franklin doll, which is at the Philosophical Society in Philadelphia as well. It's Philadelphia as well.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you also do some quilting.
Yes. The big thing that I do now, I do two types of quilts. There is the t-shirt quilt, and then there is the family history quilt. Living history quilt. I'll take that back. The living history quilt. Now, the t-shirt quilt is, most people go like, t-shirt quilt, how do you do that? Well, basically, there are many of us, we all hold on to stuff that we just don't want to get rid of. And we have t-shirts that we've had since we were in, especially guys, we keep t-shirts, or our parents have kept t-shirts that of all the baseball, all the sporting good things that we've done, they hold on to them. Anything that you've done in college or high school and college. Then there are those of us who are a part of fraternities or sororities, and all of those stuff that you've collected, but you can't wear them anymore, but you're not going to get rid of them because you spent a lot of money for them. So what I do is, you give me those shirts, give me some ideas, and then I create this quilt from the t-shirts. So that's the t-shirt quilt. And then the living history quilt is basically your story on a quilt. So like the one right behind us here, this is the story of my brother-in-law, and on one side is his family, and then it's all of his accolades in the center, and then on the right behind me are the pictures of his current family with my sister. So, and that's a living history quilt. And basically what I do is, you again send me pictures that you want on the quilt, and I have them transform onto fabric, and then I will sew them into and make a quilt out of it. I tell the story. All you do is, I'll create the story from your mind. You tell me, you give me the story, you give me your ideas, and then I'll take it and design it, and then I will, present it to you. But basically, that's what I do.
Now, that truly is a gift.
Praise the Lord for the gift. And all that's done by hand. That's all done by hand. All of it.
And how can someone contact you for some knitting or for the quilt?
Well, if you want to, you can email me at alphadesigns06@yahoo.com. That is ALPHADESIGNS06@yahoo.com. Or you can call me or text me at 856-952-8407.
All right. And the thing about it, as Mr. Henley said, they're one of a kind.
Oh yeah.
Nobody else is doing what he's doing. They make fantastic Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, anniversary gifts.
Especially if you're trying to create a historical collection. I have a couple of people who are actually, matter of fact, one of my coworkers, she started a collection of black dolls, and basically what she did was it was something that her mother wanted. So whatever her mother's favorite icons were, she said, okay, my mom wants this, 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 and this. And I think she has like 7 of my dolls. So if you're looking to create a collection through that way, you'd be surprised. You know what I want? This is gonna make you laugh. This is gonna make you laugh. So one night, I was actually designing a doll. I had a couple of dolls, and I had my little cousin over at the house visiting. And while I was playing, she wanted to play with the dolls, and I was like, "Okay, you can play with the dolls, but she's a little destructive. So I said, just don't be pulling on stuff, because I don't want you messing, because I'm getting ready for a show and I'm going to sell them." And so I told her, I said, you can go play. So she grabbed 4 of my female dolls. Mm-hmm. And the dolls that I had at that time were Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Phyllis Wheatley, and then I just had a black woman with a handbag, just a basic woman. So she took these 4 dolls, sat to my right, sat there, and actually had a tea party with them dolls. Now, I was sitting there going like, how cool is that? Can you imagine the conversation those 4 women would have had together?
All right.
If she had known who those other 3 women were, imagine, and especially the way our children are, the creative things that come out their mouths. Mm-hmm. If she didn't know that was Harriet Tubman, and that was Sojourner Truth, and who Sojourner Truth was, and Phyllis Wheatley, the poet, the conversation behind that just made me go like, oh yeah, this is powerful. Oh yeah, I got to keep doing this. I got to keep doing this. I got to keep doing this. So it's a gift that I love, and it's something from my heart that means a lot to me, because I really want to make sure that our children are inspired about our story, because our story is so important. It's very, very important. And so this is my contribution to their enlightenment.
What has been the most intricate thing that you've done?
The most intricate one would be, to be honest with you, would be that Benjamin Franklin doll. Would be that Benjamin Franklin doll. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Because I thought, now when the guy ordered the doll, met me at the business center, when he ordered the doll, I thought he was going to give me an older version of Benjamin Franklin. The one that everybody sees, the one, he have slightly balding, and he said it's got a nice thing like it. I thought that's the one I was going to get. I was like, yeah, this is great. And I'm going through Google, and I'm looking up all these wonderful, trying to find which would be a really good, picture to do. And then I told the guy, I says, listen, all I need is send me the picture that you want. Where? Why did this man send me a picture of Benjamin Franklin in his early years with the wig, with the curls around it? I was like, really? I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. So I had to create this wig, with the curls, all them real big, and I'm not talking these little teeny curls. I'm talking about them curls was about an inch and a half. So they had to go all the way around his back of his head. I was going like, this is okay. This is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a doozy. I was like, all right, man. Okay. And I told him, I said, it's going to take a minute because I'm not used to doing this. So, give me a minute. So, but usually it takes me about 3 weeks to finish a doll. It takes me about 3 weeks to finish a doll. And it's a lot of fun because the dolls are detailed. They're detailed, especially the historical ones, because if you're in, depending on the time frame, I got to make sure that if the guys wear knickers, they got to wear the knickers, and the women's dresses got to be just right. So everything is period, and I try to make sure that it is period. It's absolutely period.
You told us how we can reach you. What is the price range of your work?
The dolls are $75 now. I don't know what inflation is going to do, but right now they're $75. I ship anywhere. If it's shipping within the United States, it's $10 for the shipping. So as far as the quilts are concerned, they range anywhere from $275 up to $3,000 because I do all sizes. So I can do anything from a lap quilt up to a California King. So, and because it's stitch, hand stitch, it's gonna take me a while. So yeah, you're gonna pay for my time. I ain't cheap. I'm not cheap. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I'm doing a new thing that I'm putting back it's called cross stitch, and I'm making banners for organizations. It really doesn't matter if it's for an organization. I'm doing pillows and all kinds of wonderful things. But the cross stitching, again, if you give me, especially for the fraternities and the sororities, this is a new thing that I just added to my repertoire of things to create. Like I need some more work, right? And basically what I do is you just give me the history of when you pledge. So that means your line name, your name, the name of the line, what number you were, all that. And I will create this design, which is, you'll probably see it right behind me, and it's something personalized. So it's not going to be something that if you want it on a pillow, I'll put it on a pillow, but I actually frame it. So it's something you can hang up. So it's kind of cool. It takes me a little bit. It takes a while to do it because I'm creating it as I go, and depending on the history of the fraternity or sorority or organization, whatever the organization is, that's basically how I set everything. I design it based on so that I'm not, I don't want to offend the organization. So everything that I do is, you give me the information and I make sure that it's tight.
Scripture does say that a workman is worthy of his hire.
Yes.
And for the time that you put into it, the creativity.
Yeah, you're going to pay for it. Yeah, you're going to pay for it. I'm not Ralph Lauren yet or any of them other big names, but if right now, yeah, you're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for this.
And you mentioned historical interpretation. I would love to have you come back and talk about that particular portion of what you do.
Oh, wow, okay. Okay, that would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. You let me know when you're available. I'll try to fit you in my schedule. And you go like, yeah, okay, Keith. He'll fit you in my schedule. Okay. We got to fit each other in both our schedules.
There we go.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, our schedules are crazy. Even though he's retired, I'm not, but oh my God, it's like trying to fit us in. And I'll never forget, Larry used to tell me, Larry used to do a whole lot of crazy stuff, and he would go, he would always working, and I'll go, Larry, no man, you need to slow down. And he's going like, yeah, I can't do it right now. I can't do it right now. Now he's retired now. He's telling me to do the same thing. And I'm going like, can't do it right now. Can't do it right now. I got too much to do. I got too much to do.
I know that feeling.
I know you do.
But we will definitely set up a time where you can talk about the historical interpretations that you do. We thank you for joining us on this segment of Transformation Theater Productions presents Gifts in the Kingdom. Show them who you are this fall. Make a fashion statement. Here at Transformation Theater, it's a family thing. We have our t-shirts for the warm weather. We also have hoodies for when it gets a little colder in the fall. And we also have a bag that shows that you support Transformation Theater. And what do we have inside of the bag? It's another sweat with another design. Also, we have, if you need to keep your favorite beverage hot or cold, our Transformation Theater tumbler. And you can get all of these plus some more things at ttpchrist.com. Once again, that's ttpchrist.com. I'm asking all men over the age of 40 years old, please get checked for cancer screening. I myself am a cancer survivor. When I was told a year ago that I had cancer, I decided to do something about it. I didn't wait till the last minute, and unfortunately too many men wait until the last stages before they go to the doctor. So, get your blood levels checked. Have your cancer screenings done. Be around for yourself, be around for your family, and be around for what God intended you to do. Be a hero. Get checked.
All right. Well, hello, boys and girls, and thank you, my mom, for allowing me to come in and share with you. Today, we're going to do a story. It's called Sprouting Wings. And this is the true story of James Herman Banning, the first African-American pilot to fly across the United States. The book was actually written by Louise Jagger and Sherry Becker, and the illustrations are by Floyd Cooper. All right? So, here we go. Sprouting Wings. 5-year-old James Herman Banning tore across the red dirt fields of his family's farm, clutching the string of his homemade kite. He loved the way the wind carried leaves and birds and scraps of paper on his back. And now it was carrying his third kite. The first had tumbled, then crashed. The second had fluttered and fallen, breaking on the ground. But his third kite took off. James looked up at the speck of paper on this cross of sticks and watched his cloth tail flap against the deep blue of Canton, Oklahoma sky. One day, he said, I'm going to build a kite big enough to ride on. In early October 1905, James's father decided it was time to go to town. Going to town days meant crackers, peppermint sticks, and pieces of licorice. Today, though James could tell something was different. See, men and women, girls and boys were talking loudly, waving their hands, clutching their newspapers. A flying machine! A flying machine, he heard someone call. A flying machine? On the front page of the Oklahomian, James read that the Wright brothers flew their airplane at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, for 16 and a half minutes in the air. James didn't need a big kite to touch the sky. He needed a flying machine. 6 years later, still no flying machines flew over the Banning homestead. But James didn't stop wondering how those mechanical birds stayed up in the air. Luckily, twice a year, Mom and Pa took them all to Guthrie, 82 miles away to the Elixir Library, the first black library in all of Oklahoma. Here, in a ramshackle Victorian field with other people's thrown away books, he found information about flying machines and flight, about lift, force, and drag, about real birdmen taking them into the sky. One newspaper headline said that Charles Walsh, a birdman, was bringing his plane to the local fair in Thomas on November 10, 1911. Thomas was only 8 miles away. On November 10th, the fairground was packed. Walsh's pusher plane swooped low and buzzed the crowd. Then, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, the plane landed. Walsh climbed out to hoops and hollers. All James could see was the plane. His hands itched to touch the metal bird. James dashed to the plane and climbed through the spider web of wires and cords. Then he sat in the kitchen chair, nailed to the floor. He closed his eyes and flew. A boy in the plane, people shouted. But James didn't hear them. He didn't turn to see Walsh running up to the pusher. Hey, hey, get away from there, get away from there, Walsh yelled. Well, James scrambled out of the plane and ran, but he could still smell the oil and gas, feel the controls in his hands. He was flying. On June 28, 1914, the Great War broke out in Europe. Planes covered the fronts of newspapers and magazines. Bristol Type 22s, Fokker Eyedockers, and the Southwark Camels. At the Glen Theater, for 5 cents or an egg, yes, a chicken egg, James watched newsreels with awe as fighter planes swooped through the air. When James graduated from Faber High School, he did what none of his friends or family had ever done before. He applied to college. He was one of only 7 black students accepted into Iowa State that year. Though his grades were good, money was so tight he could only go for 1 year. Even so, he had on to his dream to becoming a birdman. When Banning was 21, he opened his own business in Ames, Iowa, Banning Auto Company. He fixed motorcycles and automobiles and farm equipment, and all the while looking for someone who would teach him to fly. There were birdmen and birdwomen in Iowa designing aeroplanes and building airfields and starting flight schools, but no one would teach Banning, a black man. Then, one day, a man pushed a broken motorcycle into Banning's shop. Banning noticed the military aviator wings on the man's leather jacket. His name was Lieutenant Raymond Fisher, and he was a pilot. He asked Fisher if he could teach him to fly. Well, Lieutenant Fisher didn't care that Banning was black. He only cared that Banning wanted to fly. This time, the answer was yes. Well, Banning met Fisher at dawn, and both men climbed into Fisher's Curtiss Jenny biplane. Banning gently pushed the throttle full forward. The engine roared as the plane hopscotched down the runway. Then Jenny's nose lifted and caught the wind under her wings. Banning could hear the roar and smell the oil and the taste of the wind. A year later, it was time for him to solo. But on April 12, 1926, when Banning arrived at Fisher's field, he found a mangled metal bird. You see, Fisher's Jenny had crashed, and Fisher had died that very morning. Banning was heartbroken. He lost his friend and the one person helping him to take to the skies. Banning still needed solo hours to earn his pilot's license, but no one would lend him an aeroplane. So he decided to build his own. He bought a spare engine at an auction, purchased a Jenny fuselage, and scavenged wires, cords, and automobile parts. He put the pieces together in a nearby cow pasture. With the help of 5 friends, Banning built his first plane. But it was even safe. Was it even safe to fly? Well, Banning wasn't sure. Every day he climbed into his plane, started the motor, partially opened the throttle and slowly drove it in circles on the ground. This became the town joke. Banning and his ground plane. Ha ha ha! Well, then one Saturday afternoon, Banning warmed up the motor, taxied to the end of the field, and pushed the throttle wide open. The full power of the motor propelled him down the field far faster than he expected. The field's high fence suddenly appeared in front of him. He yanked back on the stick and up he went. He was flying. I had sprouted wings, James Herman Banning shouted to the clouds. Well, Banning received his pilot's license, number 1324. But he still wanted more. He wanted to learn to barnstorm, to loop the loop, to barrel roll, and to make a dead stick landing. His first loops didn't loop and his rolls didn't roll, but Banning didn't give up. Soon he was circling the sky and rolling across the clouds. He had taught himself to barnstorm. In California, 1,719 miles away, a man named William Powell dreamed that freedom in the air would one day lead to freedom on the ground. He wanted to open a flight school for black men and women. So Powell opened the Bessie Coleman Aero Club and went looking for a black pilot. He sent letter to the Negro Associated Press, and it appeared in the California Eagle, the New York Amsterdam News, the Pittsburgh Courier, and the Chicago Defender. It also appeared in the Iowa Bystander in November of 1929. As soon as Banning read Powell's letter, he knew he was the pilot Powell needed. He began pecking that very day and moved to Los Angeles. Powell hired Banning on the spot as chief pilot. In the next 3 years, Banning taught air-minded black men and women to fly and to perform aerobatic stunts. On September 7, 1931, Powell and Banning put on the first all-black air show. In 1932, Banning left the Aero Club to follow a new dream. He wanted to be the first black man to fly from Los Angeles to New York. All he needed was a plane. His friend Arthur Dennis had a dilapidated Eagle Rock with a 14-year-old engine. It needed a lot of work. Thomas Cox Allen, a local aeroplane mechanic, didn't have a pilot's license, but he knew how to make engines, even old engines, roar. He also had $200. Well, Banning and Allen didn't get along well, but they shared the hope of being the first black men to fly across country. They fixed the Eagle Rock, replacing pistons, spark plugs, and the overhead action valve. When they were done, they had only $25 left. Banning and Allen scoured a map and looked for towns and cities where they knew people, where people had skin the color of theirs. They chartered a route through towns and cities where it would be safe for them to land. At every stop, family, friends, townspeople, city folk, church congregations, anyone, everyone who helped them with a meal, a place to sleep, or gas money would get to sign their names on the gold book, The Wings of the Eagle Rock. Gee, said Allen, we'll be just like hobos begging our way. Fine, said Banning. That gives me an idea. We'll call ourselves the Flying Hobos. On September 19, 1932, Banning and Allen took off from Dyser Airport in Los Angeles. They flew from Alhambra to Riverside, California, from Yuma to Tucson, Arizona. Everywhere they went, People helped however they could, providing money, meals, transportation, lodging, gas, oil, repairs, and sometimes even spare plane parts. But in Lordsburg, New Mexico, where the copper mines were empty and no one had any money, the Eagle Rock ran out of gas. Allen sold his fancy suit, his only suit, to a Mr. R.C. Hightower for $10. Just enough money to get them to El Paso, Texas. Banning and Allen flew on. 19 names were written on the Gold Book. 19 friends flying along with them. They flew from Wink to Midland, then on to Wichita Falls, Texas. But as they flew over the Guadalupe Mountains, they ran into fog so heavy they couldn't see their wingtips. "We lucked through," said Banning when they came out of the fog. They continued on to El Reno, Oklahoma, where Banning's brother Archibald lived. As they headed to Oklahoma City, 30 names were written on the Gold Book, 30 friends flying with them. They flew from Tulsa to Miami, Oklahoma, then to Carthage, Missouri. At a pit stop in St. Louis, the Tired Bird's engine gave out again. A local mechanic school rebuilt it as a class project. In Terre Haute, Indiana, they fixed a broken push rod. In Columbus, Ohio, the people of the Second Baptist Church gave them $5. Every stop brought them closer to New York, but they still had over 500 miles to go. As they approached Cambridge, Ohio, the Eagle Rock's engine sputtered, the plane dropped, the engine rattled, and then it died. There was a haystack on one side of them and a barn on the other. Banning flew sideways between the two, then right the plane, pulling the stick all the way back. As the wheels hit the ground, the plane bounced like a jackrabbit. Banning had made a perfect dead stick landing. The townspeople came running. Many had never seen an aeroplane. None had ever seen a black man fly. The steel in our motor is so old, it's crystallized. 2 rocker arms went out, Banning said. With the help of the townspeople, black and white, Banning and Allen got the Eagle Rock back in the air. Banning thanked the people with a loop and a barrel roll. The flying hobos flew on with 68 names inscribed on the Gold Book. 68 friends flying with them. Well, the Eagle Rock's engine died again as they landed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home to the Pittsburgh Courier. Banning had been writing about the flight for the newspaper, coast to coast, by the way of aerial highways. The editor, Mr. Robert Lee Vann, said he would pay to fix the Eagle Rock if they tossed 150,000 Vote for Roosevelt campaign flyers out of the plane. Banning agreed. They headed to York, then to Philadelphia, then to West Trenton, New Jersey, where they spent the night. Now, 72 names were written on the Golden Book. There is not 1 inch of space on our old Eagle Rock that is not written on, said Banning. On October 9th, 1932, at 9:15 in the morning, Banning and Allen gassed up the Eagle Rock. They checked the engine and the oil. Allen had propped the propeller. Banning took off. Soon, they were in New York. Banning looped around Lady Liberty once to her and knew that they had made it. Banning and Allen landed in Valley Stream, New York, after traveling for 21 days with the help of 24 communities. They had used 410 gallons of gas and spent $150 to fly 3,300 miles to the other side of the country. That night, they celebrated with the biggest stars in Harlem. Cab Calloway, Mrs. Bill Bojangles Robinson, and Louis Armstrong. After years of dreaming, Banning and Allen were stars